3 fires broke out in Southern California earlier this month and left more than 50,000 people homeless. One of the largest fires swept through a mobile home park in Sylmar. Valley View's Julie Wyatt reports on how local residents are helping victims of the fire.
Burned out vehicles, file cabinets, and rubble. That is nearly all that is left of the Oak Ridge mobile home park. Residents are finally able to return back home to assess the damage that was done from the fire that blazed over the weekend. But with over 500 homes lost, residents say there is not much to save. In the midst of disaster is a little ray of hope, as San Fernando Valley residents are pulling together to give victims a happy Thanksgiving. A local high school did a special drive of their own for the fire victims.
The question was, what are they doing on Thanksgiving since they don't have a home to come to? So we have a cooking club, and Chef Higgins, who heads our cooking club, got his students together and they committed to cook the morning of Thanksgiving, and then we probably have about 60 students and staff members that said we would be happy to serve the residents.
And local churches held a donation drive at Sylmar Park where fire victims could get staple foods, clothing, and even toys for the kids. One volunteer says he hopes fire victims will benefit greatly from the generous donations.
And this time of hopelessness and things like that they might find a little bit of hope, just a little bit. Yeah.
In Sylmar, Julie White for Valley View News.
A former Scientologist was shot and killed at the Church Celebrity Center in Hollywood last weekend. Police are still investigating, but say the guard was acting out of self-defense and was licensed to carry the weapon. Police say the former Scientology member entered the building carrying 2 samurai swords. Detectives say the man was involved with the church a long time ago, but didn't specify whether he was a disgruntled former member or not. Representatives for the church had no comment.
The nation's first case of cyberbullying went to court last week. Laurie Dew was accused of causing one of her daughter's rivals to commit suicide by humiliating her online. Drew allegedly pretended to be a boy who liked the 13-year-old girl on a social website, but later rejected her and sent cruel MySpace and AIM messages, which led to the girl's suicide in 2006. Drew is facing 3 counts of accessing protected computers without authorization, as well as conspiracy. She faces up to 20 years in federal prison if convicted of all charges.
President-elect Barack Obama made a personal appeal this past week to bring the 2016 Summer Olympics to Chicago.
I wanted to take this opportunity to speak with you because I deeply believe in the Olympic mission and have long supported hosting the Olympic and Paralympic Games in my home city of Chicago.
The Olympic Committee will vote on the host city next year. The other 3 cities competing against Chicago are Madrid, Tokyo, and Rio de Janeiro.
And now here's Tim Nowak with the latest in sports.
And it's gone.
Thanks. The Chargers hosted the Indianapolis Colts last Sunday night. Fourth quarter, Colts up 20-10. San Diego's Phillip Rivers finds Jacob Hester in the end zone for the touchdown. Chargers cut the lead to 20-17. Later, the Chargers get the ball back, and Nate Kading hits a 47-yard field goal to tie the score at 20. But that left time on the clock for Peyton Manning, and he took advantage. On 4th and inches, Manning finds Marvin Harrison to keep the drive alive. And the Colts get into field goal range, and kicker Adam Vinatieri wins it with a 51-yard field goal. The Chargers drop to 4-7 on the season. The Oakland Raiders traveled to Denver last week to try and avenge their Week 1 loss to the Broncos. Second quarter tied at 3, Johnny Lee Higgins takes this punt all the way into the end zone, 89 yards for a touchdown.
Got some blockers now. He's going to go all the way. Johnny Lee Higgins back to back.
Raiders lead 10-3. Third quarter tied at 10, quarterback Jamarcus Russell to rookie running back Darren McFadden, and touchdown. Raiders lead 17-10. To the fourth quarter, Raiders leading 24-10. McFadden scores a second TD, putting the game out of reach. The Raiders win 31-10. The win snaps Oakland's 4-game losing streak. In other Week 12 NFL games, the Tennessee Titans finally lost. They fell to the New York Jets 34-13. The Washington Redskins beat Seattle 20-17. The New York Giants beat Arizona 37-29. The Atlanta Falcons gained a game on Carolina in the NFC South, beating the Panthers 45-28. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers remained on top of the NFC South, beating Detroit 38-20. Alabama remained on top of the newest BCS rankings. Idle Texas moved up to number 2 because of Texas Tech's loss to Oklahoma. Oklahoma moved up to number 3 with the victory. Texas, Oklahoma, and Texas Tech are all tied with 10-1 records. Florida and USC round out the top 5. The Los Angeles Lakers played host to the Sacramento Kings last Sunday, looking for their league-best 11th win of the season. Third quarter, Lakers lead by 14. Kobe Bryant drives the baseline for the one-handed jam. Kobe finished the night with 24 points. Fourth quarter, Lakers up 10. Lamar Odom finds Trevor Ariza in the lane for the lay-in. Take another look. Ariza gets the pass and splits 2 Kings defenders and puts it in the basket for the reverse. Lakers lead 113-101. Bryant cannot be outdone by his teammates. Moments later, he drives the lane and gets a reverse layup of his own. Lakers go on to win 118-108. They are off to their best start since the 2002-2003 season. The Ducks beat the Dallas Stars last Saturday 2-1 in a shootout. Corey Perry scored his 7th goal of the season in the first period to give the Ducks the lead. Dallas's Louis Erickson evened the score at 1 in the second, but Ryan Getzlaf scored in the third round of the shootout to give the Ducks the win. Ducks goalie Jonas Hiller made 31 saves to earn his 4th victory of the season. The Los Angeles Kings took the Colorado Avalanche into a shootout last weekend, but couldn't come up with the victory. The score was tied at 3 at the end of regulation. Neither team could score in overtime, so it came down to a shootout. Patrick O'Sullivan and Dustin Brown both failed to score in the shootout for the Kings. Milan Hajduk scored the game winner for the Avalanche. The Kings are 8-8 on the season. Well, that's it for sports. Now back to Simone with more news.
Thanks, Tim. Chick Hearn's legacy lives on at the Staples Center. The Lakers held a book drive and awarded scholarships in honor of their late longtime announcer. More than 500 children's books were donated to the Lakers Reading and Learning Centers. And Hearn's widow presented the Chick Hearn Memorial Scholarship to 2 USC journalism students. Fans have contributed more than $200,000 to the annual scholarship fund.
The Reynolds Company has come up with a plan to help people stop smoking, and it comes in the form of a tiny tea-sized pouch. The pouch is filled with steamed, pasteurized, smokeless tobacco and placed between the gums and cheek. And instead of spitting out the tobacco, people are advised to swallow it. But some experts say snus could increase pancreatic cancer and mouth lesions. Several European countries have banned snus.
Next up, we'll show you the continuing protests from across the nation for Prop 8.
And we'll see how Kanye West is helping inner-city youth with a music program his mother created.